This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as educational material. How did the global divide develop? The global divide, often referred to as the North Divide or the South Divide, developed due to a combination of historical, economic, and political factors. The number one factor, colonialism. European colonial powers exploited vast regions of Africa, Asia, and the Americas for their natural resources and labor. The wealth generated from these colonies fueled the industrialization and economic growth of European nations, while leaving the colonies economically dependent and underdeveloped. Example: the British Empire's colonization of India led to the extraction of valuable resources like cotton, spices, and tea. The British imposed high taxes on Indian goods and implemented policies that favored British products, hindering India's economic development.
Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the late 18th century in Europe, brought significant ecological advancement and economic growth to the global north. Meanwhile, the global south remained largely agrarian and lacked the infrastructure and capital to industrialize. Example: the United Kingdom experienced rapid industrialization with the advent of machinery and factories, which increased production and trade. In contrast, many African countries remain focused on subsidized agriculture and face challenges in developing industrial economies.
Cold War politics. During the Cold War, the world was divided into three groups. The first world is Western Bloc. The second world is Eastern Bloc. And the third world is non-aligned countries. The third world countries were often seen as underdeveloped and struggling with poverty and political instability. Example: countries like Indonesia and Egypt, which were not aligned with either the US or the Soviet Union, were classified as a part of the third world. They face challenges in developing their economies and political system independently of the influence of the superpowers. Why does the global divide the North and the South? The North and the South divide first due to several economic disparities. The global North consists of developed countries with advanced economies, high per capita income, and strong infrastructure. The global South, on the other hand, include developing countries with lower income levels, indicate infrastructure and greater reliance on agriculture and raw materials. Example: the United States, as a part of global North, has a high GDP per capita advanced technology and a robust infrastructure. In contrast, in the part of the global South relies heavily on agriculture and face challenges such as poverty and lack of access to education and healthcare.
Political stability. Countries in the global north often have stable political systems and institutions that promote development and economic growth. The global south frequently experiences political instability, corruption, and weak governance, which hinder development. Example: Germany, a part of the global north, has a stable political system and strong institutions that support economic growth. In contrast, Venezuela, part of the global south, has faced political turmoil, hyperinflation, and economic collapse.
Historical exploitation. The legacy of colonialism has left many countries in the global south with economic dependency, social inequalities, and underdeveloped infrastructure. For example, the Democratic Republic of Congo, known as DRC, has vast mineral wealth, but decades of colonial exploitation and subsequent conflicts have left the country impoverished and underdeveloped.
What is the difference between the Third World and Global South? Third World. The term Third World originated during the Cold War to describe countries that were not aligned with either the Western Bloc or the Eastern Bloc. It often carried a connotation of underdevelopment and poverty. For example, during the Cold War, India was considered a third world country due to its non-alignment with either superbloc. The term often implied underdevelopment and economic challenges. The term Global South is a more contemporary and politically neutral term that refers to countries in Latin America, Africa, Asia, and Oceania that are less economically developed compared to the global north. It emphasizes the economic, social, and political disparities between these regions. For example, Brazil, as part of the Global South, has experienced significant economic growth but continues to face challenges such as income inequality and social disparities.
Global South. The Global South refers to countries in Latin America, Africa, Asia, and Oceania that are economically less developed compared to the global north. It emphasizes the economic and social disparities between these regions and highlights their shared experience and challenges. For example, Mexico is a part of Global South, has seen economic growth and industrialization but continues to grapple with poverty, social inequality, which are also prevalent in countries like India and Nigeria. Despite rapid urbanization and technological advancements, many nations in the Global South face challenges such as inadequate healthcare, limited access to quality education, and political instability. These issues often stem from historical colonialism, economic dependency, and unequal global trade structures.
Difference from the Third World. While the term Third World was used during the Cold War to describe non-aligned countries, the Global South focuses on contemporary issues of the economic and social development. The Global South acknowledges historical exploitation and ongoing challenges, aiming to promote a more equitable global order. For example, India, once classified as a third world country, is now part of the Global South. This shift in terminology reflects India's economic growth and its ongoing development challenges. New conception of global relations. Latin American countries have significantly contributed to a new conception of global relations through their experience with colonialism, economic exploitation, and regional cooperation. First, regional cooperation. Latin American countries have formed regional organizations to promote economic integration and political cooperation. These organizations aims to reduce dependency on the global north and enhance regional solidarity.
Second conceptions of global relations will be economic justice. So, Latin American countries have advocated for fair trade practices and economic policies that prioritize social welfare and reduce inequality. Example for this will be Brazil's participation in BRICS, or Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, where it aims to create a multipolar world order which reduces dependency on Western-dominated institutions and promote development cooperation among emerging economies. Last conception of global relations will be social movements. Grassroots social movements in Latin America have played a crucial role in challenging neoliberal economic policies and advocating for social and economic justice. Examples for this will be the landless workers movement in Brazil, which advocates for land reform and social justice, challenging the concentration of land ownership and promoting equitable development.
In a nutshell, the global divide developed from historical events such as colonialism and the Industrial Revolution, which favored the economic growth of the global North while exploiting the global South. This divide persists due to ongoing economic disparities, political instability, and the legacy of historical exploitation. While the term Third World was politically charged and focused on Cold War alignments, the Global South is a more contemporary term that emphasizes economic and social disparities. Latin American countries have played a crucial role in reshaping global relations by advocating for economic justice, social equality, and dominance of the global North, and promoting a more equitable global order.